everyone, it's me Terry of the Yarnjoy podcast. Welcome back to another tutorial. In today's tutorial, I am going to demonstrate how I like to crochet the arms of my amigurumis into the body instead of having to hand sew the arms on later. You may need to hand sew a little bit just to strengthen the arms, the connection where the arm is, but it cuts down on the sewing quite a bit, okay, if maybe all of it. Okay, so I do two techniques as far as the attaching of the arms. This first one I'm going to show you today is what I call the 1 round technique, and the second one will be the 2 round technique, but I will show that in another tutorial. Okay, so in the 1 round technique, it's the easiest one because it only takes 1 round to attach the arms, okay? And so the one I am talking about, let me demonstrate on this swaddle baby here, is the one that where, if you're familiar with patterns, amigurumi patterns, sometimes they will have you make the arms and then they'll say to pinch the arms closed at the top and crochet through both thicknesses at the top of the arms to completely close them off, okay? And so that's how this pattern was, but then you actually sew the arms into the pattern, okay, as you are closing it off, okay? And so that's the one I'm going to show you today. The other one has a more rounded shoulder and your arm is stuffed all the way to the top, and it takes 2 rounds to attach it, okay? But this one's only going to take 1 round. Okay, so let's get started with the tutorial. Okay, so in today's tutorial, I'm going to show you on this little piglet doll that I've been working on. I got to the point where it was time to connect the arms, and so I thought I'm going to turn the camera on and show you how I do it. Okay, so when you're going to attach the arms, you need to make sure you have the arms already made. I made them first, especially if, well, this didn't matter that much because it's a different yarn color than what the body is, but if it's the same yarn color like this was, okay, same, then I make sure I crochet my arms first and then I just fasten them off. I do like to leave a little tail just for any refining stitches that I may want to do to secure the arms even stronger, okay? But other than that, you go ahead and fasten them off. Now, I did, in this pattern, it wasn't going to be that way. It was going to decrease down to even more smaller stitches, and then you completely stuffed it all the way to the top and fastened, draw it closed. But since I was going to do the pinch top method, I went ahead and stopped 1 round before that because I wanted to, because this pattern has 8 stitches in diameter, and so I stopped right before it started decreasing down smaller, okay? I stopped 1 round sooner, okay, so then I could pinch the top, and then when I crochet the top together, that will give me that remaining round, okay, if that makes sense. Okay, so I did that. I did not stuff it. I made the arms, and like I said, I stopped 1 round sooner. I stuffed it all the way up to the top, minus about a thumb's width where I can pinch it together. That part is not stuffed, so that way the arms will hang down down by the side, okay, instead of stick out straight, okay? So like I said, I got my arms ready, okay, and then I started on my body, and this works really well for, or the easiest, if the body is made in the head is separate, and also if you have to leave the body open before you connect the head. Some of them will have you decrease down and completely seal up the body, and same thing as the head, and then you have to sew them together. But it works much easier if it is, well, for one thing, it works easier to connect the head and body together if they are left open like this, because you just match the stitches from what was left on the head to what was on the body, stitch for stitch, and you just attach it to the head, you know, sew them together. Okay, so for this pattern, that's the way it works. And so what I did is I got up to almost the top of my body. I have one round left that I haven't done yet. Okay, so right now I have 20 stitches all the way around my body. Okay, in the next stitch I'm going to do one decrease round, and that's going to get me to 16 stitches all the way around, which is the same as what the head is. Okay, so the way this pattern turned out as far as stitch count, it worked out really well to do this technique, because right now I have 20 stitches around here. I have 8 stitches around the arm, but when you pinch it closed and you're going to sew the stitches together, the front and the back, you're going to end up with 4. Okay, so 4 stitches across. Okay, and so, which works well because 20 is divisible by 4, right? It'd be every 5 stitches in the front, 5 stitches in the back, 5 stitches on either side, and that makes 20, right? Okay, and so the next round, when we do 16, when we make this go down to 16, you're still going to do that. It's still divisible by 4. You would have 4 stitches on the sides each, 4 in the front and 4 in the back. Well, the 4 on the sides is where you're going to attach the arms, okay, with 4 stitches, okay? So that works out really well. And so now I want the continuing on to the last round. Okay, so I need to decrease my body from 20 stitches down to 4, and I'm just following the directions in the pattern. Okay, and where they're doing it is they're doing a 3 single crochets and then a decrease, and we do that all the way around. Okay, so that decrease is actually like the 4th stitch, right? Okay, so I want to keep that in mind when I'm attaching my arms. Now, like I said, I'm right in the back here, so I want to just continue on, and I'm going to do okay, so continuing on with the round here, I want to have this in the center back. So what I'm going to do is, remember I told you we're going to end up with 4 stitches on the back, 4 in the front, you know, and 4 on either side. So 4, 4, 4, and 4. Okay, well, I want this to kind of be centered back. So this back one, I'm going to do 2, and then and then continue on to the sides and all the way around the front. When I get to the end, I will have the remaining 2 of that 4, if that makes sense. I want to get that where I'm starting. I want it to be the center back of the back 4 stitches. Okay, so but right now we need to do 3 and decrease. Okay, so 3 stitches, and then the 4th stitch is going to be a decrease. Okay, so if I'm going to do 2 stitches and then go on to my sides, then I need to do 1 stitch and a decrease, and then I start my arms. Okay, because that 1 stitch and a decrease would make 2 stitches. Hope it makes sense. But you'll have those 2 stitches, and then you continue on, and then the very end you're going to have 2 stitches, and that's the other 2 on the back side, 4 that we needed. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Okay, so going on, we're going to do 1 stitch. So that's stitch number 1, doing single crochets, and then now our second stitch is a decrease. Okay, and I'm just doing the invisible decrease. So I did 1, and then I did a decrease. Now it's time to start attaching my arms, because that's going to be the side 4 stitches. Okay, so remember, I want this, if your arms that you're doing, if they have a thumb, then you want to make sure that thumb is pointed forward. Okay, you have to make sure you put it in the right place. Okay. Going on, remember, we're doing 1, 2, 3, and decrease. Okay, if that's our 4 stitches. So the first stitch is going to go through the first stitch of the arm, remember, and you're going to go through the front and the back of that edge piece. So the front stitch, and then its mate in the back. Okay, and then we're going to go into the next stitch on the body. Okay, and we're going to do a single crochet. Okay, so that was our first stitch. That was 1, okay? And then the next stitch, we're going to go into the next 2 stitches on the arm, the front, and then its mate in the back, and then into the body with a single crochet. Okay, that's 2. Okay, and then the third one the same way. We're going to go through the next one on the front on the arm and its mate in the back. Make sure you're going through both thicknesses of that arm, and then you're going to go into the next stitch of the body and make a single crochet. Okay, so there was 1, 2, 3, and then remember our fourth one is a decrease. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go into the next stitch of the arm and its mate in the back. Make sure you go through both thicknesses. Whoops, my hook came out. Try this again. Okay. Okay, so we're going to go through the front and the back, both thicknesses, and then now we're going to do an invisible decrease, which is right quickly. I'll go ahead and demonstrate that since I have to do this now. I have to do it in the next stitch. You go through the front loop of the first stitch of the body, and then the front loop of the second stitch, the next stitch of the body, okay? And then you yarn over and then pull through those 2 loops and the ones that you went through on the arm, and then you finish your single crochet, okay? So there we did our decrease, and we have attached our first arm, okay? So now we go across the front, and we know we have to do 3 and a decrease across the front of the body. So there's 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, and then 1 in the next one, in other words, and then 1 in the next one. There's our 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and then now we're going to do a decrease, and we're still working on the front of the body, so we just do the invisible decrease. Okay, there's our 4th stitch, the one around the front. Now it's time to do the side 4 stitches, and that is where we're going to attach our next arm. So we pick up the next arm, make sure the thumb is going toward the front, and then we go into the first stitch and its mate in the back of the arm, okay? And then we're going to go into the next stitch of the body, okay? And then we yarn over and pull through all of those stitches, come out the front, and we finish our single crochet. See that? Okay? Now that was stitch number 1. Stitch number 2, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go through both thicknesses of the next stitch on the arm, through the next stitch on the body, yarn over, pull through all of that, and make a single crochet. That's the 2nd stitch, okay? We've got 2 more stitches to connect on the arm, okay? So we're going to do that again. We're going to go through the arm and its mate in the back and into the next stitch of the body. Pull all the way through and make your single crochet. Okay, that's 3 stitches. Remember, the 4th one is a decrease. So we go through the arm just like regular, okay, front and back stitches, okay, and then we're going to do the decrease in the body part, okay? So we're going to do our invisible decrease. We're going to find the next stitch on the body we haven't used yet, which is this one. And then we're going to go under the front loop of that stitch, and then we're going to go under the front loop of the next stitch. Then we're going to yarn over and pull through our pull through our loops and pull through the arm and finish our single crochet. Okay, so now we have both arms attached. Now remember, when we started in the very beginning, you oh, and you can mark your first stitch if you, I forgot to bring my stitch marker, right? But you can mark the first stitch, that way you remember what your first stitch was. But I just remember that I did the first 2 of the sets of 4. I did the first 2 when I started, so that means I need to do the other 2, which would complete the back 4 stitches. So I need to do those 2 right now. So I'm going to do 1 single crochet in the next stitch and 1 single crochet in the next stitch. Okay, and that finishes that round. Okay, brought me back to the beginning. Okay, now I am ready to attach the head. Okay, and so the way I like to do a smooth finishing is I take my scissors. Of course, I forgot to get my scissors. Let me pull them out of the drawer right here. I can reach them. Yep. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to just cut my yarn, and I want to leave enough yarn because I will be using this yarn to sew the head on, I believe. I can't remember if it's this or the head. I haven't made the head yet. But anyway, just in case, I'm going to go ahead and cut off a good amount of yarn, okay, from my working yarn, okay. Take my hook, put it back into the loop, okay, and then the way I'm going to finish it off is I'm going to just pull my yarn through all the way through the stitch, okay, and then I'm going to insert my hook not into the very next stitch, but I'm going to do it one stitch over, okay, because I'm going to make a duplicate stitch on top of that stitch, which would be the first stitch of the round, okay. So I'm not going to go into that one because usually you will go into that and do a slip stitch and fasten off, and you can do that, but the way I like to do the edges is I pull the yarn through just like I showed you there. You just pull the loop through once you cut your yarn, and then you insert the hook from the front. My viewfinder went to sleep here, and make sure I'm in the right spot. Okay, so I put my hook from the front to the back in the second stitch, okay, not the very next one, but the second one. And then I'm going to take this yarn tail that I cut, and I'm going to pull it through, okay, all the way through. Just like that, okay? So what this is doing is this loop right here is going to make a duplicate stitch on top of the one under it, which is the first stitch of the round, okay? And so now I'm going to go back to the last stitch of the round, and I'm going to go under the front loop of that stitch with my hook, see that? And then I'm going to take my the yarn tail that I cut, and I'm going to hook it on, and I'm just going to pull it all the way through that loop. Okay, so when you do that, if you look at the top of the stitches now, you can see, I hope you can see that, you can see that it made another stitch, and so it looks like an identical stitches all the way around, okay? And then now I'm going to leave this tail for when I do the head, and then I can use that. It's got static electricity. It's stuck to me. I'm going to be using that tail when I sew the head on, okay? But I haven't made the head yet, so now I got to go make the head. But anyway, I just wanted to show you how you can attach or crochet your arms into the body, okay? And I will come back and make another tutorial. Like I said, this is the one round method, and so I will come back and make another tutorial showing you the 2 round method, okay? Okay, and like I said, with the yarn tails from the arms, you can always, before you attach the head on there, so you have access to the inside of the body. And so you can go ahead and yarn up your needle, your yarn needle with these tails of the arms, and you can go ahead and pull this through to the inside of the body. And if you feel like you want to secure the arm down a little bit more, you can do that, and then end up with these tails pulled to the inside of the body, and then go on from there, okay, with attaching your head onto the body. Okay, so that is all for today's tutorial. I hope you found it useful. Hope you understand my instructions and the math I was doing as far as connecting the arms. I hope that made sense to you. So thank you so much for watching this tutorial, and stay tuned pretty soon for the next one, and then you can see the 2 round method. So thanks everyone for watching today, and we will see you in the next video. Bye!